power. It's the violent force that shapes every relationship, every decision, every move you make. What if you could master it? What if you could unlock the secret to controlling the game of life, at work, with friends, or even with your family? Today, we dive into the first law of power, the foundation of it all. Law 1 of the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene says, "Never outshine the master." Simple, yet the consequences of ignoring this law can be catastrophic. But how does this apply to us? And what does this law have to do with kings, queens, and even the most cunning of game players from shows like Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon? Imagine this. You're in a room with your boss. You have a brilliant idea, something no one else could have thought of. But if you present it as your own, well, that could cost you everything. Not just your job, but your reputation. In Game of Thrones, Tyrion Lannister often walks a thin line between loyalty and power. When Daenerys Targaryen is at her most powerful, Tyrion knows his place. He doesn't try to outshine her, even though his intellect could easily do so. He knows that when the queen is on her throne, the best thing he can do is support her vision, not overshadow it. Let's break this down. Never outshine the master means that you must always make those above you feel superior. If you outshine them, it can trigger feelings of insecurity and jealousy, which can be destructive. This law is about survival in a world where power dynamics rule every situation. It doesn't matter if you're the smartest person in the room, the most talented, or the most ambitious. What matters is how you make others feel, especially those in positions of authority. Let me ask you this. How often have you been in a meeting where your brilliant ideas were shot down? Not because they weren't good, but because they threatened the position of someone higher up. It happens more often than you think. The key here isn't to dim your light, but to shine it in a way that makes others feel powerful, especially the ones you want to influence. In Game of Thrones, we see this law played out time and again. Take Varys, the master of whisperers. His power lies not in outshining the king, but in subtly influencing from the shadows. He understands that true power often lies in restraint. Varys never directly challenges those in power. He knows that to outshine them would mean his death. Instead, he works behind the scenes, knowing when to step forward and when to step back. By never overshadowing his rulers, he builds alliances that ensure his own survival and influence. So how does this apply to you? In your job, with your friends, or even in your family? Here's the challenge. How often do you let others feel like they are in control, even when you have all the answers? Try it. You might be surprised by how much more you can achieve by making others feel like the star of the show. In your everyday life, Law 1 doesn't mean you should hold back your brilliance. It means knowing when to let others lead and when to follow. Take your boss, for example. They might not want you to outshine them, but they will appreciate you when you make them look good. That's the secret. The best leaders often make those around them feel powerful. By giving credit, by empowering others, they build loyalty and respect. The same goes with friends and family. Don't always take the spotlight. Sometimes, letting others shine makes you even more valuable in their eyes. In House of the Dragon, we see a similar situation with King Viserys. He is constantly challenged by those who wish to outshine him, whether it's his ambitious brother Prince Daemon or anyone. By trying to outshine Viserys,
"You're weak, Viserys."
these characters risk their power. Daemon Targaryen, with all his cunning and talent, often oversteps. His ambitions blind him to the one thing that could secure his power, the throne itself. Instead of supporting his brother and recognizing his position, Daemon pushes too hard, too soon. In the end, it cost him more than he ever expected. So, how will you use this law in your life? Will you learn to navigate the power dynamics at work, with your friends, and within your family? Will you know when to step back and let others feel in charge, even if you're the one with the real power? Remember, the game of power isn't about being the loudest or the smartest. It's about knowing when to shine and when to support those in charge. Master this, and you'll be able to unlock the hidden forces of influence in every part of your life. So, what's your next move? Tell me in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more insights into power and psychology, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a law. Until next time, remember, power is not about domination, it's about strategy.